Hi, this is Heather Picken, and welcome to the Woman on Fire Entrepreneur Podcast. How to break through anything, become unstoppable, and be profitable. Learn how to align your mind. Yeah, I call that activating your money mojo. Market to your ideal clients and make money doing what you love. Tired of struggling and trying to figure things out? Do you tend to stop when things get tough? Well, I'm here to steer the ship out of the sea of overwhelm so that you can attract money and success in your business now. Grab your favorite beverage, let's fire it up, get inspired, and live life at your highest potential. Here's Heather with her co-host Chihuahua, Frankie Lee. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Woman on Fire Entrepreneur Show. Not only coming to you from podcast and iTunes if you're listening, but also over on YouTube. So if you go to youtube.com/Heather Picken, you will find not only this episode, but many more. So I'm excited and on fire, of course, to bring you another amazing expert. And I'm here to tell you the experts that I bring really have a vision that they want to bring into the world. And that is, creating and building a business where you're an industry leader. So no matter what you do, maybe you're a wellness coach, you are a leadership coach, you are a business coach, it doesn't matter. One of the most important topics I want to bring today is about the authority and credibility of having a book. And not only that, but building a business around it. So I want to welcome my guest, Claudia Svartefoss, and I know that's a mouthful, and she is all the way from Sweden. So Claudia, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you so much for having me, Heather.
Yeah, see, my name is very hard to pronounce too. It's that translation, it just gets lost. But Claudia, first, thank you so much for being here. And I want to give the listeners and the viewers a little bit of information about what you do.
So what I do is I help aspiring authors write a best-selling book and self-publish it and build a business around it, an online business around it.
I love that. I think that's so great. And, we're going to be talking about having your best-selling book, why that's important. I know I would just want to share this with our listeners here and if our viewers. So if you can't see this, you have to go over on YouTube. But so this is one of my recent books called Woman on Fire Entrepreneur. And I was recently, it was about a month ago, that I was on Good Day Fox. And I'm telling you, if I didn't have a book, I would not have gotten booked on TV, media, and radio. So let's start here, Claudia. Why is it so important to have a book? Not only a book, but actually, let's start there. Why is it important to have a book?
So it's important because with the book, you can reach a lot more people than other ways. And exactly like you said, for example, getting media interviews, right? Like seeing books in such interviews, it's reviewing, right? And offering value. When, for example, if it were a product or a service, it would be advertising and people wouldn't get this kind of interviews, but they do for books. So that's why it's very important to write your book, and then you can utilize it to really promote your whole business. But you don't do that on TV. You do that in email marketing and social media marketing and other types of marketing.
I love that because it's so true because, when I'm out and speaking, people get a copy of my book, so this is a great tool because it does lend to credibility. And also, as I had mentioned in the beginning, you're building a business around a book. So let's touch a little bit on that, what that looks like for someone, because, there might be people out there watching or listening right now, like I have a book, but they don't know how to go and grow their business to the next level, whether it be online or to get those high-end clients. So that's something that you help people with. And I wonder if you could just kind of expand on why that's so important, to have a book to get yourself out there online and attract more clients.
Yeah, because like I said, advertising a book, it's seen as more valuable than simply advertising a product or service, right? So then you utilize the book for in the advertising and the marketing, and then you bring people back to you, because through your book they get to know you and what you stand for and your business values. So it's building this relationship, right? Like know, like, trust.
I love that. Yeah, it is so important because again, as I mentioned, a lot of people, they have books or they have a book within them, but they don't know the first thing on how to market, especially when it comes to online. And I know you've got a system where you basically walk people through that. In fact, you have I know one of your programs is that you have a best-selling author program where you guarantee that they reach bestseller status. And I know when I reached bestseller status, I mean, that was such a great, credible thing to lead to, with video interviews and TV and radio and all of that. So I was wondering if you could speak a little bit about that, about your program.
Oh, okay. So my program is taking people from no book idea or no business idea. So maybe they want to start a business, but they don't really know how to do that. And I found that one of the easiest ways to do that is to write a book. And then we just write it. Well, I help them write it in a specific way that allows them to develop it further into a coaching program or a course, or just the next level of help for people to have that available.
I love that because, as you're talking, what I'm thinking is, okay, so the cost of an average book is about $20, which, you would have to sell so many books to make, $10,000. I don't know, do the math, whip out your calculator. So what I'm thinking is, that's good. However, part of the book, and I know that we've talked off camera and we were sharing these ideas. Part of the book is it's kind of like a business card in a way, creates credibility, authority, and it gets you found so that you can get those high-end clients. So instead of getting $20 per book and getting this book out there, you could build your business, attracting those high-end clients. Let's just say one of your services that you offer is $1,000. So then if you have 5 people invest in, a 1K program, that's $5,000. So if we do the math, how many books would you have to sell in order to make $1,000? So it all kinds of leads into, like this whole vision of building the book. Now, Claudia, what if a person has a book, they've written a book, it's not been a bestseller, and they haven't written or they haven't sold a lot of books? So what would your recommendation be, and what kind of program would you work with them in that capacity?
Well, I would have to say that we would probably have to retweak the book. So after the editor has done that, we would just update it, and we would create a course or a coaching program around it. And then we would launch it once everything is in place, so that if people are ready for the next step right away, they can take that, and not, for example, 6 months later or a year later until you get prepared to have that.
Right. No, I think that's great. And as you were talking, another question popped into my head. And I know this is something that happens to everyone. They have a book inside of them, but then there's the excuses. And it goes something like this: I don't know how to write a book. I don't know how to put it out there. I don't have time. I've got, millions and bazillions of things. And I will tell you personally, I wrote my last book in 3 months because I had the focus, I had the vision. So what would you say, to someone that's putting their book off and, saying, well, I'm just going to do that next year? What would you say to them that kind of gives, they're kind of giving themselves an excuse by putting it off? What would you tell our listeners and watchers?
Well, it's really about setting priorities, right? So the more you postpone it, the more it doesn't happen. And if you don't start thinking about it deliberately, then it's not going to happen. And I've
Yeah.
right, because I've published many books, and then I wasn't focused enough. So what I did was unpublish many of them, because I didn't have like this real strategy and system and plan at the time. So I've been developing that over the years. And now I realize that you have to start with the end result and have like a really big vision for yourself. And just building up to that, like make that real for you. That's the first step. And then you just have to treat it like a normal habit. You have to build on it every single day. And,
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, and it's always because there's this momentum in not writing a book as opposed to having a momentum in writing a book. So you just have to build that momentum, and you have to really decide every single day, I am doing this because I'm building this greater vision, and leaving a legacy in the world and creating a greater impact and just all these amazing things, but they have to become real for you first.
I absolutely love that, because I know it's something that I'm always coaching clients on about the vision. You can't look at where you're at and going, I pulled in a million different directions, but you've got to think about the bigger vision and impact. And writing a book is really going to put you in the driver's seat, and especially like having a plan, having a strategy. And I love how, we learn by our own quote unquote mistakes, but I don't believe there's any mistakes in the universe. I know there's a French philosopher that said there's no such thing as a mistake. And I truly believe that. And that's how, you can help your clients with your systems and your strategies to help them to get out of their own way. So it sounds like what you do in your system is a lot of mindset coaching, overview of the vision and what that looks like. And then, of course, the strategy, because the strategy, is really important. And, of course, being able to implement that, having a plan and really working with the plan. So how long from start to finish do you find it takes your clients to get their book up and running and to best sellers selling status? So they've got to write it, they've got to market it, and then what does that look like? What do you find the timetable is?
So I would say writing the book, but also being ready for that next step. So coaching one-on-one or something like this, altogether in my program, it takes 5 months. So
Oh my gosh, that's fantastic.
yes.
There really isn't, and it's great because, I will tell you this, having a coach is one of the best investments that you can make in yourself. And I have invested so much money in my coaching and training. And I'm here to tell you, you've got to invest in yourself, because if you don't invest in yourself, people will not invest in you. And it really, to me, it's about stepping up your leadership ability, to say, yeah, I'm worth it. And why would you want to take years trying to figure out how to plan your book when there's experts just like you that can help them, kind of be the guide and navigate? Because what I find and what I know, and when you're working with someone like Claudia or myself, is that you get accountability. They're helping you every step of the way. Whereas if you were to to do it by yourself without having a proven formula, and that's the key, then you're going to be floundering, and you're not going to get the traction that you want. So it really is, a great system. I think 5 months is a great timeline to do all of those things. So, Claudia, what do you think is the number one thing? I know we were kind of touching on a lot of different points here, but what do you think is actually, I'm going to change my mind with my question. What do you think is the biggest mistake that authors are making, either wannabe authors or authors right now, in their and having a book or marketing their book?
Yeah, so exactly like you said, it's not having a clear plan and a strategy and a coach, because you can really get into your own head, and someone says something negative and then you get discouraged, and you really need that support. So this is, yes, the biggest mistake, and I have made it myself, so I should know.
Absolutely. And that's how we learn. And, I really want to share some of my thoughts too on that, because a lot of times what happens is people will take programs and they'll be like, wow, that didn't work or whatever. I find a lot of people come to me because, they've just like, I'm at my wit's end. I don't know what to do. And it really is about having a vision and focus and coaching and accountability. But you can't look at your past situations and beat yourself up and say, oh, why did I do this? This shouldn't have happened. Because if you do, it really limits you, right? I mean, would you agree? It kind of limits you if you're always kind of beating yourself up and going, oh my gosh, why did that happen? Because the kind of coach that you are and helping your clients, the quote unquote so-called mistakes, although I don't believe mistakes, really helps them, because you can basically cut the time in half, where they'd be taking maybe years to try to figure out this formula.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, so I have already tried this and I know that it doesn't work to do it by yourself, because I have taken years to achieve the success that I achieved once I actually invested in myself in just a few months. So
I
it's,
love that.
yeah.
Absolutely. And I know before we go, this has been so fantastic, because I just really encourage people to write a book. I mean, not just one book, write many books. I mean, it's such a great way, especially if we're talking about the online space, getting your message out there, making a bigger impact. You need to write a book. It is so critical, because if you don't do it, someone else will. And if you're here to make, an impact in the world, you got to show up. And that means writing a book. Now, Claudia, I know you've got actually two special offers. I know one of the offers is sharing, I don't know if it's a video training, but sharing some secrets on becoming an author. And I really want to highlight the other offer, which all these links are in the show notes. So it's a link to your online schedule. And tell us a little bit about that, because they have to get on your schedule to have a conversation with you. But you had mentioned to me before we started recording this, I was blown away, like your offer. So I was wondering if you could share with our listeners and our viewers that are watching this, what your offer is.
Yeah, so I'm offering, I just developed a new program and I'm launching it, and I'm offering it for a very low price of $500, and the normal price is $5,000 and more. So I'm offering this for the first five people, sorry, who are signing up. So if they want to build a business and they don't know how to start, and they have always wanted to write a book or they're thinking about it, this is perfect for them. But it's also perfect, let's say, if you're already a business owner and you want to take your business to the next level, you can easily do that with the book. So I can help you with that.
I love that. So basically it's kind of like a coaching program where you're taking them through your step-by-step program.
Yeah, so I'm taking, so there's the program, and then there's one-on-one coaching where we, talk about it and develop ideas together and do market research together, and really every step of the way.
I love that. And here's the thing, people, it's only for the first 5. So I don't know when you're listening or watching this. So you've got to get on the link. So you click on the link to get on her schedule. That's step 1. You set up a call with her. And if you are qualified, to write the book, because I know she just doesn't work with anyone with this special deal, then again, it's only $500. She mentioned she charges at least $5,000 and up, depending on the project. This is a freaking sweet deal. I'm telling you, this is absolutely amazing deal. So I encourage everyone to click on that link and take advantage of that offer, because within 5 months, you can have a book, you can have a business, and become a best-selling author. Claudia, thank you so much for being my guest today.
Thank you so much, Heather.
I just want to thank everyone out there. You've got a mission, you've got a vision, and sometimes things get in the way. And I'm here to tell you, if you're a leader, you have to want the challenges, because that's where you're going to go and grow to the next level. I'm here to make an impact in the world if you've got that vision, mission, and purpose. And I have actually, one of the things I have a big ask. If you could rate, review, and subscribe on iTunes. If you're watching this in YouTube, go ahead and go over to iTunes and do that. And the reason why I'm asking this is because I have a mission to empower particularly women, millions of women all over the world, empowering others, changing lives, creating transformation like crazy, just like Claudia. So if you could do that for me, I would totally appreciate that. Until next time, this is Heather Picken. Take care. So if you found this show to be helpful, please hashtag WOFE, that stands for Woman on Fire Entrepreneur, and subscribe to this show in iTunes and leave me a review. I want to know how these shows have helped you. I also want to know the number one thing that you're struggling with the most in your business. Every week, I give away complimentary sessions to help you get it clear on your next steps and to activate your money mojo. You can learn more about my work if you go to www.heatherpicken.com.